is empty, all the devils are here, to quote Shakespeare. Welcome to the QI Christmas show, otherwise known as the Feast of Stephen. Let's meet our merry players. Miss Scarlett, Joe Brand. Colonel Mustard, Phil Jupiterus. Mrs. Brown, Brendan O'Carroll. And the lead piping in the bathroom, Alan Davis. And their buzzers are adorable. Joe goes. Brendan goes. Phil goes. And Alan goes. Thank you, Alan. And so to our first question. Ooh, you've been given a truly horrible sweater for Christmas. Oh, that's the question. What's the best way to get rid of it?
Some comedic unravelling that they used to always do in films when I was little on the telly, and you never see that joke anymore. There's always someone getting a thing and it's unravelling, and they never know.
That's definitely would do it. That would do it. That would do it. Any other thoughts?
Well, you can get in touch with the people at CERN who have been working on the Higgs boson, which I'm fairly sure will lead to time travel, and then you can turn them back into sheep.
Reversing time is a very good idea. That would do.
I know, it's complex.
Yeah.
Just say thank you very much and burn it.
Everyone, the practical.
I'd do the same. I'd set fire to it, but I'd make sure my least favourite relative was trying it on.
You could give it to charity. There was a lady who lived in our road who used to donate 3 shirts, 4 shirts a week to charity, and then she'd go back and buy them back for 50p each, because it was cheaper than leaving them into the cleaners.
That's brilliant. Well, the funny thing is, between you, you've oddly got near the truth of it.
Unravel it whilst travelling through time.
You sort of do the effect of travelling through time. If you take a sweater on a journey back through time, eventually it becomes a ball of wool. And is there a machine that can take a pullover and unravel it back into its constituent woolen parts? Or a scarf, for example.
Why would you make such a thing?
Why, indeed? We have the only person we know on the planet who has done it. Imogen Hedges, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely to see you. Now, to explain ourselves, you're a student at...
Kingston. I just graduated.
And one of your projects was an unknitting machine. And is this something you built yourself?
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. What a mind. Most people think, oh, I'll try and make something, but to unmake something, to go back in time. So could you take, say, Alan's scarf and return it to a ball of wool?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh,
Yeah,
charming.
Really.
Once you've unknitted it, can you knit it again?
Yeah.
Okay. She can do anything. Can we see your machine? There it is, and I believe that's your brother there.
That's my brother.
Tristan, give us a
My
wave.
assistant.
Hello, Tristan. And he's going to be operating, it's pedal-powered.
Yes, it's
Do they not have electricity in Kingston? Is the recession bitten that hard?
It's like a wind-up radio. It's for use around the world.
Can I ask a question? Has Tristan got a girlfriend?
He is quite... He's
very cute,
yes.
isn't he?
One would, one feels.
He's going to pedal fast now, I tell you that.
Stop it. All right.
They'll be ploughing across the studio.
Stop it. Imogen, thanks very much. You take Scott away and we'll be looking on you. Oh, dear.
I just hate it when you two get all Christmassy like that.
So we'll be looking on her from time to time. Now, we're all loyal servants of Her Majesty here. What do you think the Queen's going to give you for Christmas this year?
A message.
She will certainly be giving us all a message, that's true.
That's not a klaxon, but certainly it'll be a
She should have been,
klaxon.
shouldn't it? But it's true.
For years, it's actually been a robot. But she only gives things to people when they're 100.
Well,
she gives Maundy money.
She gives Maundy money
What else
on
does she
Maundy
give?
Thursday. Well, her staff, which is obviously extensive, used to be they could choose from a catalogue.
Argos.
And with value
What, choose a present?
between 20 and 25 pounds, according to length of service.
Between 20 and... That's a very small window.
It is. It's not exactly...
26.99. No.
Wow. Too much. In 2006, it sort of changed. They all get the same thing, the staff. These are her queries and butlers and so on. Obviously, a family and things is different. This is if you're her servant in some way.
How many staff?
you know, I don't have the number, but it's pretty enormous. I'm
You don't
sorry.
know?
I have failed you, Brendan, on the first fence. I apologise from the very heart of everything.
I thought you would know every light bulb in the palace.
Damn it, but I'll just say a number and you'll believe me.
Yes.
There are over 4,000 light bulbs in the palace, I can tell you that.
My God.
Pretty impressive, isn't it?
That's some bill.
Yep.
Have you not met the Queen yet?
Yes. She nudged me once, quite hard in the ribs. It was,
In the
it was quite
back,
funny. It was at her son's wedding to Camilla at Windsor Castle, and she'd made this very funny speech. She got on a table. She stood on the table.
She got on a table?
Yeah, she stood on the table.
That sort of
She stood on the
clambered
chair
up?
and got on the table, and then she made a very funny speech, and she got down, and she just mingled among everyone. And I was chatting to someone, I got this rib. Is anybody going to give me cake? Just brilliant! So I said, of course, ma'am, I'll get you some cake.
It must be a dream.
I
You dreamed
promise
all
you.
of it.
I know it sounds mad. It's absolutely...
I'm going outside for a fag.
Come on,
Brian.
It was in the days I'd smoked, and I'm afraid I was caught by a photographer in the buttresses of the chapel in Windsor.
Whose buttresses?
My big top hat and everything,
Sorry, did you say-
smoking a cigarette.
Can we out the top of your hat?
You can take the woolly hats off now if you want to, but if you're getting hot. You like yours.
Oh, very hot.
Take yours off.
Thank you.
Pop it under the thingy, though.
Shall I pop it under?
Or you keep it on, which do they like? Let's see how Imogen is getting on, shall we? That would be rather fun. Imogen,
Yeah.
have you started your machine? Oh, there it is.
Oh.
And there's Tristan pedalling away.
Yes, indeed.
He's looking so shy now, I feel terrible. That is absolutely amazing. You can see it. It's absolutely unravelling before our eyes. Brilliant.
I think they would have got it done ages ago if Tristan wasn't quite so relaxed.
You deliberately spilled boiling water on his trousers so you could knock them down. You wicked, wicked woman.
As soon as they go off screen, Imogen is going to beat him.
Is Tristan wearing corduroys so the heat generated by the whiff-whiff of the is powering the kettle?
We've embarrassed the brother and sister team almost
Sorry,
to death.
Imogen,
If he
sorry.
gets snagged up in that, he might get unravelled himself.
It's just a whole human being unravelled.
I'm going to build one of those for next Christmas. I think it'd be
You
great,
should.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
We were talking about that. Thank you very much, Imogen and Tristan. Sorry about that. We'll let you replace
Ruined.
it.
Ruined.
It's not ruined. Let's go back to her Madge. Now, the fact is, if you work for the Queen, nowadays, you all get the same present instead of being able to choose from the catalogue. We've done a little sort of montage of them. Bottle of bubbly, silver plate. 2008 reflected the mood of financial restraint. It was just coasters. And in 2012, Jubilee year, a special themed trinket box. You all get the same thing with a monogrammed something, cigar box, whatever it was. You can't expect the woman to go down the high street shopping, can you?
No,
No,
no.
especially not if she's in one of her cake frenzies.
Yeah.
I have to pull her away from Greg's.
Yeah.
Oh, it takes 3 equerries. Or are they equerries? Or are they eclairs?
It's
Is that a
Aquarius.
cake?
It's Aquarius. Anyway, which of these looks most like Jesus?
I'd say the toast has to be the best.
The toast. The toast is certainly, well, we bow down, yes? Any other thoughts?
They look a bit westernised.
As far as we're going for the Bible, he was a Jew, obviously, he was Jewish, and that on the right is what's known as a forensic reconstruction.
Now, is there any truth to it could be a myth that you can tell Jewish people because their earlobes are higher than their nose?
Well, I'm Jewish, my mother's Jewish, so that makes me fully Jewish. Is my earlobe higher than my nose?
It's very hard to tell with your nose.
Yeah. Well, as my grandfather used to say, and he was Jewish, you know why we have big noses? Air is free!
Or is it... What specifically are we looking for?
Well, you know, I mean, it's basically images of Jesus. It's very extraordinarily difficult to know. The Bible obviously doesn't furnish us with a description of
Is there
him.
no
We just know he was a
description at
Jewish
all?
man who lived at a particular time. And that's the best that forensic people can do, given that that's the sort of average, you know. But one very Christmassy person we do know more clearly the features of, because unlike Jesus, we have the skull. Who is that?
St. Nicholas.
St. Nicholas. And what can you tell me about the real life St. Nicholas?
Well, there was about 3 of them.
Right.
One was Roman, and he used to throw coins in the windows of poor people. Another was Russian, I think. And he would collect firewood, and he'd carve things out of the firewood, and he would leave them around the village for children. And then the most famous one of all, of course, is the Coca-Cola Santa.
Well, the canonical St. Nicholas was actually from Lycia, Lycia, which is part of Asia Minor, which is now...
Iran.
No, Asia Minor is Turkey.
Close.
So,
That's St Nicholas there. Who was the bloke before then?
well, the bloke before is the facial reconstruction on the basis of the skull.
Right.
He was a bishop And the story is that he gave money to young girls, daughters of people of his episcopacy,
Did he work for the BBC?
in order. He paid the parents of the girls in order to stop
bet
them.
he did.
In order to stop them becoming prostitutes, and he is therefore the patron saint of prostitutes. Which is nice that they have. I'm pleased that there's a patron saint of
I'm very pleased.
harlotry. I think it's good.
Did he have a hairdresser with OCD then? Look at it.
And also quite a sort of thick, broken nose, which he could have got. People believe he fought with a heretic at Nicaea, where they had a famous...
More likely did it coming
congress.
down the chimney, though.
Or going down the chimney, or being beaten up by the Emperor Diocletian.
And what's his era?
It's the 4th century, I think, AD.
But when did Santa Claus become Santa Claus?
Well, the idea that he was the patron saint of children caught on, and then became patron saint of sailors, children, and prostitutes. It's
a good group.
It's a good group.
It's a very broad demographic, yeah.
Sailors and prostitutes is a very difficult combination.
Absolutely.
I just love the idea that he's the patron saint of prostitutes, and then a child goes, "I love you, Santa." Shut up, baby, I know it.
I've never, ever kissed. He was by the Dutch. The Dutch called him Sinterklaas. But where's the modern depiction of Father Christmas where the red and white beard come from?
This is where I could get my first screen. Coca-Cola.
You're not getting a klaxon, but because it was certainly reinforced by Coca-Cola in the 1930s. But there are plenty of images from the 1890s of Father Christmas in red and white with a white beard. Now, Santa rewards good little boys and girls, but what happens to the bad ones? There is a culture not far from us, pretty related to us, where they really, really go a long way towards celebrating this anti-Father Christmas.
Waterboarding.
Who has a name? I'm a slightly older waterboard. I shall waterboard all the bad children. This is surprisingly close to waterboarding what they do. This is... Snowboarding would be OK.
A ducking stool?
We're talking about Germany, and they have a character.
Do they drown them?
They have a figure. No, they don't actually drown them. But their threats are pretty medieval. There he is. Does anybody know the name of this character? He has several names, but in German he's mostly known as Krampus.
I don't know who he is, but with a tongue like that, he's not a patron saint of prostitutes. That's for sure.
He's also known as Schmutzli. And Santa gives good gifts to good children. Krampus punishes naughty ones, include pulling hair. Simple.
It's not that bad.
Swatting with chains.
Quite bad.
Yeah.
Pulling hair, swap with chains.
Leading naughty children off a cliff. He'd obviously have to fly to be able to get back and do it again.
I think I went to that school.
Putting them in a sack and taking them to his fiery lair. So explains why German children are so well behaved. You like fiery lairs?
That can be fun.
It can be, I suppose.
Mummy used to say.
But when is this practiced?
Christmas Eve?
No.
Is it on their birthdays for extra irony?
No, it's December the 5th. The 5th is when Schmutzli or Krampus, from the German Krampf, and that's the kind of figure he presents. And they terrify children, you should imagine. They run down with whips, and they threaten children and glare at them. It is a peculiar way to treat children at Christmas time, but I suppose it has produced a nation of extremely efficient and obedient citizens who now rule Europe. So maybe we've been missing something. Now, why is Santa off the rich list?
What's that?
Cutbacks?
That might
Austerity drive?
Austerity drive.
That's one day, yeah.
Only works one day a year.
Has he developed
used to be
confidence?
on the rich list. He used to be on it until 2006. Forbes magazine famously invented, virtually, the idea of a rich list.
Is there some...
Yes, young Brendan.
Is it because he may not be real?
Dr. Klaxon, so that can't be right. Don't worry, back you go. Yeah. Oh, little soul. Forbes magazine genuinely publishes a fictional rich list. And Santa Claus used to be on it because they reckon he must be infinitely rich because he is able to distribute presents every year to all the children of the world, they said. I don't believe he does. I don't know why...
Richie Rich?
That's Richie Rich, of course. Scrooge, I guess, on the left. Father Christmas himself. And,
The late Bernard Manning on the right.
Can you name... I've got the top 5. Name any in the top 5 that you imagine might be on the
Real
rich list.
people or
no,
imaginary
fictional,
ones?
that's the point.
Scrooge McDuck.
No, but his great rival, if you can remember his name, you will get lots of points.
Tony Stark out of Iron Man.
Yes, he's number 5. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So that's 9.3 billion, apparently. Number 4's from a black and white TV show with a wonderful Earl Scruggs banjo opening theme song.
Oh, the Beverly Hillbillies.
The Beverly Hillbillies.
So it's like Clampett, Jethro Clampett.
Jed Clampett, I'll give you the points for that. He comes in at number 4, and they were worth 9.8 billion. So number 3, Carlisle Cullen from the Twilight Saga is worth 36.3 billion, apparently.
Wow, dude.
From investments. But number 2 is the enemy of Scrooge McDuck. Good one. Flintheart Glomgold is his name. Flintheart Glomgold. Yeah. And number 1 played Benedict Cumberbatch, the richest fictional creature in the world, human or they know in the audience? Smaug. Smaug with the dragon in The Hobbit. $62 billion worth of gold he sits upon until, of course, well, I'm not going to tell you the ending, because I haven't seen it.
Don't spoil it.
But why is Santa taken off? Because surely he must be really rich to give everyone a present.
It's a very simple reason.
Tax evasion.
Not tax evasion. It's the usual answer, because it's a fictional
And he's
list,
real.
And Santa is
Santa is
real.
real.
Forbes decided that. So there you go. Good result, Santa. Let's just see how everything's doing, shall we? Imogen and Tristan, let's have a look. Oh, you've spooled it back up. He's turning slowly.
Oh, he's doing 2 tasks now.
Very good.
He's balling
He's
it,
going
balling
it back into a ball. It actually doesn't just unravel it, it balls it up as well. Look at that. Balls it up, sorry. Beautifully. Look at how cunning that little thing is, the way it moves, the little shuttly...
He's called Tristan, Steve.
No! Imogen, what do you call that sort of unit that winds it up?
Brother.
Did you design the way that it moves like that so that it could...
The little tiny thing?
Yeah.
That's from eBay.
I think British industry in the future has nothing to fear. We're going to do well. We're going to win over the world. Congratulations. We'll come back to you when that ball is complete. That's brilliant. Now, how can a Christmas tree get you into trouble?
Grass you up.
Very good.
Falling needles.
Falling needles.
And a disposal.
Drying out, and the chances of fire would...
Falling
Cat's
over
fallen out
and giving an elderly relative brain damage.
You do know this. We're talking about the once beloved institution, the giant, magnificent cultural gift to the world that is the BBC.
Oh.
And the BBC, now, of course, is so open that you can literally look up everyone who works for it and see how much their salary is. In the old days, they, of course, all had a personnel file, and there was a figure from another institution, far more sinister even than the BBC.
Broadmoor.
Not Broadmoor. MI5 is the right answer.
all right.
And if they thought anyone who worked for the BBC was...
Okay.
Communist.
dodgy, communist, subversive...
They would ask them to join immediately.
There would be a symbol put onto their personnel file,
Really?
which
If you were
resembled a Christmas tree.
And that's if you were
It would look
dodgy.
like that.
Oh.
And
Oh, no.
the reason people thought it might be a Christmas tree was... Do you know what the German for Christmas tree is?
Tannenbaum.
Do you know the tune of the song?
Oh, Tannenbaum, oh, Tannenbaum, deine Bottle.
That's right, exactly. Christmas tree, which is also the tune to... Though cowards flinch and traitors sneer,
We'll keep the red flag flying here.
the red flag, exactly. And people thought... Yes, power to the people.
Can I just do
So-
my version of the red flag?
Yeah, go on.
Neil Kinnock's hair is deepest red, though most of it's not on his head.
You would have laughed.
Did it mean that you were
It isn't the
suspected
reason.
communist?
It isn't actually the reason that it's the Tannenbaum red flag. It's just a pure coincidence. People thought it looked like a Christmas tree, called it the Christmas tree. But the 2 arrows, it's actually just 2 arrows, mean refer upstairs. So if anyone was thought to, for promotion, and you saw their personnel file, you'd have to go up to a senior person and say, this person... The last
I'm
person,
up for promotion.
Anna Ford had one of those on her, the newsreader then.
Blimey.
Yeah, and it was because she'd once, had as a boyfriend a communist. Which, Jesus, in a free society.
And they allowed on the television.
I know. Well, there you go. The BBC used Christmas trees to keep lefties off the telly. The practice stopped in 1985, and sure enough, they're everywhere. Here. Now, historic moment. What's Baldrick brought for me this Christmas?
Aldrich.
Right. Okay. Bought for you, Melchit. Are we melting? We can.
Well, it's for me.
It's for you.
And who is that there on the screen?
That's Tony
Tony
Robbins.
Robinson.
And there is a Tony Robinson,
Yeah.
Baldrick, who's about to come on. But in the First World War, as you probably know and we've covered before, there was a Christmas football truce.
Yes.
But what happened later in 1915 was that because football had been banned at Christmas Day, a soldier smuggled into the trench a football. It was deflated so that no one would spot it, and then he blew it up before the Battle of Loos. And in the morning, when the whistle blew to commence the offensive, he threw it out of the trench, shouting, "Play up, London Irish," because it was from the London Irish Regiment, which I'm sure you'll be aware of.
Yeah, great regiment.
And they found the football when they got to the German trench. They kept it. And it so happens a member of that London Irish happens to be called Tony Robinson, is therefore always called Baldrick by his fellows. And he has brought that football along today.
Wow.
Christmas came
Darling, take that man's name. And address. This really is Tony the football.
It is indeed. It's the football.
And where's it kept?
It's kept in the museum, which is now down in Camberwell at the London Irish Rifles.
Is it called the London Irish Regiment or the London Regiment?
We're D Company London Irish Rifles of the London Regiment.
Right, D Company. And it's still an active regiment in the British Army, and we have some of your fellow soldiers over here. If you'd like to stand up, here they are. Fabulous to see you boys. They're all recently back from Helmand province in Afghanistan, and they're wearing combat uniform, but most noticeable is the, how do you say it, kabine, which we must not call a beret, I believe. And can any of you tell me what is distinctive about that particular piece of head joy, I shall call it, as opposed to various other British...
Pain in the arse in the cinema, aren't they?
Well, yeah. But this is different from other headwear.
People behind those lads are like, oh, now they stood up. Didn't have to be banged up in a bloody hat.
Tell him. I'm not going to.
Are they worn on the opposite side to the other?
It's the only one with the cap badge on the right.
This is a very historic year for Irish soldiers.
Tell me why.
Well, last May, all Irish soldiers who deserted the Irish Army...
have been...
I haven't finished
sorry,
all soldiers who deserted the Irish Army in both First World War and Second World War periods and joined the British Army to fight for the British Army were granted a pardon.
That is extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, it's too late now, I'm dead.
Almost all of them are dead, but it was true, wasn't it, that if you were Irish and anti-fascist, say,
yes,
and you wanted to fight for the Allies against Germany, and so you joined the British Army, it was considered by the Irish government that you were a traitor.
Correct.
You got no pension, you couldn't work for the government.
No. And you could barely go home.
And yeah.
There was a great cartoon, and it was two Irish guys fighting for the British Army in the trenches. Yeah. And De Valera was the president of Ireland at the time. Yeah. And the two boys were there ducking the bullets, and one said the other said, well, fair play to De Valera, he kept us out of this.
That's very good. That's very good. So thank you very much, and please sit down. Members of D Company, thank you so much. Anyway, Baldrick.
Sir.
I've never seen you looking better.
I did. Yes,
You're an absolute disaster of a human being. Thank you so much for bringing me lunch. I'm not very hungry. You can take it away.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. Wonderful. Tony Robinson. So, yeah, that football you've just seen was kicked right across no man's land by Rifleman Frank Edwards and the London Irish in 1915. And our thanks to Rifleman Tony Baldrick Robinson. So it's time for a Christmas drink, I think. So take a glass, each of you. There you go. And all I want to know from you is which ones you should use at Christmas. You've got a drink, you can pour out your drink. Holy moly. It's not about the capacity, it's about the shape.
Oh. I just say, as an ex-nurse, that looks like someone with cystitis.
Darling, have you got...
I think, whereas I have had one Barocca too many.
Suspiciously like iron brew, actually. I don't know the colour, isn't it? Maybe we don't...
No, it's like this.
Oh, right. The issue is, not a psychologist who assists Heston Blumenthal, in fact, has studied extensively the effect of one of our sense organs on food and drink. It's not the tongue. What do you think it is?
It's the feel.
No, not the feel.
Eyes.
The eyes. So much more
of
our mental processing
80% with our eyes.
exactly goes with our eyes. And he has discovered remarkable things by observing people who don't know they're being watched, is that you drink more quickly out of a curved glass because you're not aware of how much there is.
And also you drink more quickly with loud music playing.
And you drink more quickly if you're an alcoholic.
And if you're an alcoholic. You don't care what shape the glass is. You drink for the bottle.
I find you drink much more quickly if you've had 3 drinks already.
There is that. There is that. But there are also many other extraordinary things about colour and sight which influence food, which are quite startling, which this same professor has discovered. His name is Charles Spence. The colour of a plate can affect the taste of food. So if you, for example, have a strawberry mousse served on a white plate, it tastes more flavourful and sweeter than the same thing on a black plate.
Nearly everything does. A chef prefers to serve on a white plate because it hails what you're going to taste.
It somehow does, exactly.
Yeah.
The restaurants have all got a bit weird lately. I've had food served to me on planks.
On house plates.
Slate.
Yes,
A roof
house
off
plates.
slate
Slates
roof.
and
Please
planks.
wash the bird shit off it.
But that was the sauce.
In the...
It was Esther Blumenthal.
You were supposed to have
A little squeeze of sparrows.
I always put my
Low
mayonnaise
touch.
through a pigeon before I...
But in the Jamie Oliver ones, they hang them on the wall and offer them for sale afterwards.
pigeons?
Would you know the planks?
I think that's crap about stuff tasting
It isn't.
worse off black plates.
No,
I think
it's
it's
worse.
racist towards plates.
Let's have a taste challenge.
We have a taste
No,
challenge.
we wish we will move on, though, but there are various other things. For example, it is, as you rightly say, the cortical real estate, as it were, taken up by visual, is much, much more than...
Did I say that?
You didn't say quite like that, but you can...
Wine doesn't taste as nice in a mug.
Wine. No, that's very true. And I think tea doesn't taste good out
That's
of
because of the amount of air you take in.
Yes, that's probably true, isn't it?
No, it is true.
Yes, no.
It's the thinness of the glass. It's the amount of air you're taking as you sip. If you like tea, just make 1 cup in a glass and try that tea out of a glass. It is
Delicious.
divine.
You're absolutely right.
Because it
My
minimises...
wife likes a thin
Yeah.
mug.
Well, that's your own business. But I'm just saying...
I believe it.
Don't take it so much.
I'm getting a public off these two.
Sorry.
It is
It's
true,
a
yeah.
half volley
Who
ring.
thought that Fry and Carol would be a double act?
Well, that's why they taste wine. They go
Yeah, that's right, to get the...
to maximise the air
But-
that gets in.
Take the phone.
Yes. It's Heston Blumenthal.
Minus how many
so
points
sorry.
I'm wondering
I am
for
so
a,
sorry.
a
I really
rogue
did.
ringtone.
I didn't even know I had it on me. Really, I'm so
Very good.
sorry.
Anyway, now, let's test your beer goggles, as it were. We have a man in the audience who's just going to hold up a picture, and I want you to tell me who's that of.
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, you can see the picture behind you there. Marilyn Monroe. Now, it's Sam. Sam, walk towards us if you'd be kind
I
enough.
don't think it... I wouldn't... I think it's supposed to look like her, but I'm suspicious.
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein.
Holy crap.
It is rather extraordinary. It's both.
They're related.
No.
They're in the same room, Brendan.
You'd hardly imagine they would be, would you?
I think Marilyn Monroe did have quite a bad facial hair problem.
From a distance, the image does look like Marilyn Monroe, because what they do is, it's created by the MIT, this illusion, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, I'm sure you know. They remove
Thank you.
Marilyn's fine-grained features, like wrinkles and little blemishes, and they remove Einstein's coarser features, like the shape of his mouth and nose, and then they superimpose the two. And from a distance, we see just the broader strokes. We see her, Marilyn Monroe, and close up, we see the fine details of Albert Einstein. And we've done another version, just to show this really does work. It's not just Marilyn. Who's that?
Handsome man. That's Stephen Fry.
That's
I know
me.
him well.
That's me. Hooray. And if you come towards us... Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yay! How about that?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't been that close. That's fantastic. Isn't it? It is an extraordinary illusion. I hope they've done 2 of them so we can have one each. in
Yeah,
our
I want
bedrooms.
one in my house.
What distance do you want it, though?
I want to be far away from it.
Trust you for it. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks, our picture bearers. And thank you, Albert and Marilyn. So the take-home message tonight is don't trust your eyes, even when you're sober. In fact, you probably shouldn't really trust anything, but we've just come to that bit which we call general ignorance. So fingers on buzzers for very quick ones. What year was Jesus born? Yes, Brendan.
5 BC.
Ooh, it's not the right answer. Damn close.
4.
No.
3.
No.
2.
No.
Other direction. 8.
6.
Yes!
Ah, come on.
He was born 6 years before Christ.
Well done,
How
Jesus.
crazy is that? Now, how do we know?
Somebody told us.
It's the only authority we could possibly have.
There's a book about him, come
The
on.
Bible doesn't give the date, though. There is. It's been worked out by the only man we've ever been able to call, certainly for over 1,000 years, I think, Pope Emeritus. Who is he? Emeritus. What does emeritus mean?
An ex-pope.
An ex-pope. Is there an ex-pope in the world?
We got one now.
We have.
Benedict, yes.
His Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI.
Where did you get
His Holiness wrote a book with the catchy title "Jesus of Nazareth: The Infancy Narratives," and the calculation made by Dionysius Exiguus, which is basically Latin for Denis the Small, on which the modern dating system is based, was wrong by several years, he says, and so he puts the date at 6 BC, which you eventually got to, Alan, in your usual method. What was the year before 1 AD? Yes, Joe.
Naught.
Oh, dear, 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 dear. No. Hooray, yes. Well done. Much admired.
1 BC.
Is the right answer.
Oh, I was going to
Wait,
say...
are you so surprised?
You're right. It went from December the 31st, 1 BC, to 1st of January, 1 AD. The BC AD scheme, for some reason, doesn't have a 0. Anyway, here's an obviously easy one. Is 0 an odd number or an even number?
It's not a number.
Oh, it is a number.
I give up.
No, that's it. It's an instant thought. So it is one of them.
No, hang on. It's even.
Yes!
Yeah.
Wow.
Even, isn't it?
As well as all criteria by which you judge an even number, it is even. An even number is divisible by 2 without leaving a remainder. Well, 0 over 2 is 0 with no remainder. Or it's a number that ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Well, 0 obviously ends in 0 because it is 0. Also, it has either side of it, -1 and 1, which are both odd numbers. Our maths elf at QI thinks this is the easiest question that's ever been asked on QI.
Yeah. Take away my glory now. I'll get my points. The easiest question that's ever been asked.
But he is a maths
The
elf.
sun isn't there. I had that about 4 series ago, and I'm looking at it and it's not there. But this is easy.
I know maths people
Hate
are
this
odd.
show.
I'm so sorry, Phil.
You feel bad. I got it wrong.
That's true. What does that put you? Now, who wants to see one of my knickknacks? My first knickknack is for you to do. I want you to create some extraordinarily magical, Christmassy things using the power of chemistry alone. And chemistry, let's not forget, means magic. Alchemet, the magic. So, you should
Stephen,
have...
are we going to make a seasonal meth lab?
Maybe. Take out your little chemistry lab. You have to put on your gloves, I'm afraid, for health and
Oh,
safety.
the gloves are
While you're
good.
doing yours, because yours takes a bit of time, as you'll see, you pour one...
What are we doing?
You pour the contents of your smaller into the larger.
Aha, the usual.
Yeah. What it is there was a...
So, let me get this straight. We're providing a sample. Is that what we're...
Now, you should turn brown, put the lid on, and then you just swirl, and just swirl, gently sort of twist and swirl. You need to do that for about 2 minutes. Just not too violently, just
I've
it's
done this
lovely.
before.
Right, and while you're doing that, I'll just do my demonstration of using dry ice, which, as we know, always makes a
doing the
marvellous
dry
reaction with water.
What are the chances of us being busted by the feds while we're doing this? Stephen's eyes
Tom
crack
Cruise in
out.
Look at this. Phil, I've got this.
Oh! Oh, let's some of that.
OK, now there's going to be quite a violent reaction to this, as I'm sure you've all seen dry ice, as they call it, going into. And I've got here, this is sort of bubble, you know,
I don't know where that's going.
bubbles. So what we're trying to do is make little smoky bubbles. It's a little sort of Christmassy effect. I've got to get the lid on in time.
Oh,
Calm down.
oh, hey, hey!
Lid is on.
It's going everywhere!
Bubbles! Look at my little bubbles.
Oh.
There's one, look, big one. Pop it. Bing. Smoky bubble. Smoky bubble. There we are. Whoa.
I've gone completely reflective.
Oh, there you are. Look, you've made a bauble.
Look at that.
You've made a bauble because your little experiment, invented by Mr. Tollens, is one of the things he used was silver nitrate, the same thing used in film photography, and that is silver.
Wow.
You've got a beautiful silver bauble
Can
that
I
you've made just by
say,
mixing those two chemicals.
I've just seen myself. I didn't realise that I looked like Last Christmas by Weight Watchers Wham. It's hideous.
But it is, Kevin, it is very beautiful, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
And they used to use exactly that for lining the inside of thermos flasks. You know how they're silvered on the inside.
Oh, it's lovely.
And mirrors. And there it is. You've made your own little homemade silver ball. And I've finished my little bubbles. And there we are.
Cool, man.
So, there's only one last thing to check. And
Has
that...
anyone got any worries?
There's just one last thing to check. What's happened to Alan's grand scarf? Imogen, what do you have for us? There it is! Literally! Brilliant invention. I hope they gave you first class with honours and...
They didn't.
Well, their show. I want to see what the one who got a first made. But meanwhile, thank you, Imogen and Tristan. Thank you.
Yes, one who got a first probably made a scarf.
You're absolutely right. But that brings us to the little, not inconsequential matter of the Christmas scores. And they are very interesting, I'm afraid. In last place, though it is his first appearance, and unfortunately his phone went off, which may have cost him some points. In last place, with a very creditable -19, is Brendan O'Carroll. In third, with -9, Joe Brand. In Santa's second place, with -6, Alan Davis. But our big Father Christmassy winner with +3 is Phil Jubitor. So that's it from Brendan, Phil, Terry, Alan and me. Merry Christmas to you all, everywhere. Bye-bye.